Let's talk first kisses.
Can we not?
Everyone has a first kiss. They're good, they're bad, they're awkward, they're all sorts. I'll tell you about mine if you'd like.
Please do.
It's nothing special. I was in the 8th grade with my 8th grade girlfriend.
Bless.
And after school one day, I can't quite remember the specifics, but it was like a Friday after the bell. I found her, hi, hello, and I kissed her goodbye and made out like I had to run to the bus but also secretly terrified that I'd done bad. I walked away and I was like, wow, I just had my first kiss. And she had strawberry lip gloss on. So it was a little sticky.
Sticky.
But no tongue, just
a peck or just a little bit juicy?
More than a peck.
Yeah. Like
little more than a peck.
Church tongue?
Little, yeah, mayhaps a little church tongue, mayhaps, but I'm iffy on the tongue.
Yeah.
So that was mine, just after school on a Friday, grade 8, summer air.
Mine was in grade 7.
Yes.
So's mum. He was a family friend and we were hanging out in the backyard.
Yeah.
We went into the tree house and we're just talking and then we're like, do you want to kiss? He's like, yeah, okay, let's kiss. And so we just did a little mwah. Yeah. He was like, do you want to do it again? And I'm like, yeah, all right. Little, and there was never any tongue. We just kept going mwah, mwah. Okay, cool.
It's so sweet that once upon a time we were like, do you want to kiss?
Do you want to kiss? Because we weren't boyfriend or girlfriend or anything. We were just mates, and we just kept juicy peck kissing. And no, that sounds bad. We were just little kisses, and then it just didn't. The first time I made out with somebody was the next door neighbor, and his name. Oh no, I can't make the joke because I can't identify him.
Oh no.
Yeah, I won't make it.
That's okay.
But anyway, he has the name of a famous actor, which made me laugh. And we went into the back of the cinema to watch Speed 2.
Speed 2.
And literally made out with the most tongue possible in a young teen makeout. And I still have no idea. The only thing I remember about that movie is that there's a boat and it crashes and then someone had leeches on them at some point. That's all I remember. I just remember this guy's face mashing up against mine. But yeah.
Well, there you go. To wake you up on a Thursday morning.
Welcome to Ghosts of Boyfriends Past.
Yeah, sorry, I've got the giggles now.
Oh no, tongue, giggles.
It's so grown up.
I'm Liz Best.
And I'm Tom Harris. Hello, everybody.
Hope you're all well, healthy, happy.
Yeah, doing well.
If you're in love, congratulations.
Time to put the boot through someone else's dating history and someone else's
let's get it off.
life.
Let's get the heat off us.
And we got a guest today.
We do.
It's Liz's best friend.
Again.
Third time the charm on this show.
Look, honestly, the first time doesn't count because she was talking about me.
Right.
So this is technically her second visit. We have the wonderful Emma.
Hello, Emma. Welcome back.
I have so many stories. Please don't think this is the end, Tom.
This is not
nowhere near the end, my friend.
Strap in, Tom.
No,
Strap in. Because
fine.
when we were discussing, we're like, what story should I tell this time? So
can I, before we start though, and I think this is really important to add. So my first kiss was with this person I'm about to tell a story with. But I was rehearsing for a show at the time, and I was really scared. We had just started dating, and we were young, and I was like, I hadn't been kissed before, but I was gonna have to kiss the guy I was playing opposite in this show, and I was like, okay, we need to make out.
We need to sort this out before I kiss somebody else.
Because if I kiss this guy before I kiss you, then that's gonna really suck. And also he's gay, and I don't want my first kiss to be with someone who isn't even vaguely, even possibly attracted to me. I know there's so many facets to this story, but I'm bringing it up because this guy who I kissed for the first time on stage wore apple flavored lip gloss.
Oh my god!
He wore it because he, as a gay man, had never actually kissed a woman before, and he was like, you know what? I'm just gonna wear lip gloss to make it easier for her. But then we got off stage, and I was like, hey man, were you wearing lip gloss? And he's like, I did. Did you like it? I wore it for you. And I was like, see, now I feel like I'm kissing a woman.
Yeah.
So now it's weird on all of the levels.
Yeah, I went from kissing a gay man to a woman.
I'm like,
I mean, it's not. Yeah,
he
it's
goes,
not a
so
backward step,
no
but
more
it's-
apple lip gloss. And I was like, it's really disconcerting.
That's very sweet. I wore it for you.
Yeah,
I did it for you.
I thought I'd mention it, just given your lip gloss
That's cute.
stories.
There we go.
Bless.
Yes.
In our end is our
Okay,
beginning.
look, as with all of our podcasts that you've been on before, we've got the same rules.
Yeah,
You
yeah.
need to come up with aliases. You can't make threats. I can only do that. And then, you know, if anyone at home knows who she's talking about, because let's be honest, Brisbane's small.
Oh, so small.
So small. Please don't spoil the fun and start gossiping. This was so long ago that just shut up, everyone.
Brisbane-
Just shut up.
Brisbane's so small, and yet I'm always late. There's always traffic.
Yeah, explain that. Explain that.
It doesn't make what
It
sense.
doesn't
Explain
make
that.
any sense.
I feel like that says more about you.
Especially coming from Sydney. Like, the traffic there is on another level. So I don't know how you can be late in Brisbane.
Amazing. And so yes, an armchair Columbos at home, who figure out who Emma is talking about.
Don't be
Yeah.
narcs.
Yeah,
Undoubtedly,
keep it
they're
stum
awesome.
bitter.
Yeah,
Um,
yeah.
We want this
is
podcast
a
to keep
small
on a
world.
rolling well into my 70s.
Yes.
Ambitious. Ambitious.
All right.
All right. So, Emma, the relationship that we're talking about this time, we've got an interesting reason why we're going with our particular alias.
Yeah. So I'm going to call him Josh again. So I've had
This isn't just because she can't think of any other boy names.
This
There's
is
a reason.
because I've dated a couple of guys with the same name, and so I think it's important to continue with that theme. So the Josh I've talked about previously, I
That's-
call him Josh 2.0 because he was the second. This is about Josh 1.0.
The
This is
original.
The original.
Origin
The OG.
story.
Yeah, the
OG
origin
Josh.
story.
Okay.
Yeah, the beginning of the curse. So
And this was your formative relationship.
yes, it was. Yes.
So
Yeah.
how old were you when you started?
We started dating. I would have been 18, just 18, just
Mhm.
turned 18. So, yes, quite young. And he was 6 months younger than me. So I think he was still 17.
How'd you meet?
So we met singing together in a choir. So many things. So yeah, I would have been about 11. He would have been about 10 or maybe 12 and 11. I'm not sure. But yeah, quite young.
So you knew each other for a very long time.
Yeah,
before
I
you
met him the
dated.
first day because I'd already been a member of this choir, this children's choir, for ages, and he joined a while after I did, and I still remember his first day. Like, I was friends with him from his very first day, and we were friends he was one of my best friends. Like, we'd come over for like group sleepovers and parties and stuff when we were kids. And so my parents knew him, my family knew him, I knew his family really well. And he knew a lot of my friends from school and vice versa. So yeah, so I knew him for, I think it was like 8 years or something before we actually started dating. Yeah, it must have been. If I was 11, what's that, 7 years? Yeah, 7 years.
Maths.
Between
can't.
11 and 18. 7 years before we started dating. So,
And what was it that tipped it over into that? How?
well, it was, I don't know, I think we spent a bit of time apart. You know, absence makes the heart grow fonder. And like, it was just like, we hadn't seen each other in a while. And so I think it was because I was in first year uni and he was finishing high school. And so exams and stuff just got to both of us, and we hadn't seen each other in a really long time. And we would call each other and text each other, but hadn't seen each other. So when we finally saw each other, it was just like there were feelings there that probably hadn't been there before. I think I'd had a crush on him when I was a lot younger, but like it passed when I was a kid. So yeah, so these were like real feelings, and we had friends who were dating at the time too. And it's just that age where like
everyone's in a couple?
everyone's in a couple. We were in a group of like 3 couples. And we were all really close, especially over that first year when we were dating. We were all really close friends. And then one by one, the couples split. I think we were the second couple to split. So, so we dated for 1.5 years. And during that time, so I think I mentioned earlier that he was my first kiss. So I have this, I don't know what to call it, history, issue, problem, struggle, where I've dated several gay men, not purposefully. I don't realize they're gay when I date them. And so I had a high school boyfriend barely call him a boyfriend, but he before Josh 1.0, and he was gay, and we broke up because I was pretty certain he was gay. He didn't understand why I dumped him at the time, but like later on he was like, oh, does that make sense?
I like dick.
Yeah, pretty much. Anyway, so when I started dating Josh, there were a lot of people who like were like, are you sure he's straight? And I was like, yes, he's dated girls. He says he's straight. I don't know what else to tell you. Like
just
we
because
can't
the
judge
first
someone
guy
on a
was gay as
stereotype.
well.
Just because I've dated a gay guy before, just because I was a big fan of Anthony Kalia, like please let it go. Anyway,
Just 'cause I
Australian
have
Idol was
history.
big back then, guys. Love Anthony Kalia. My high school friends still laugh about that. Anyway, so so Josh and I started dating, and yeah, like I brought up that kissing story earlier about me being like, Josh, we have to kiss before I make out with this guy on stage, because like we were dating for a couple of months before he even kissed me, which like should have been a sign that there was something weird.
At 15 or 16, I wouldn't have gone weird. At 18.
17, 18,
weird.
issues. Yeah, issues. But he kept saying it was Jesus. Like there were Jesus things.
I don't want to kiss you because it's Jesus.
He's leaving a lot of room for Jesus. And anyway, so that was the excuse.
Maybe it was Jesus. He needed
I know,
kiss.
lost in translation there. So yeah, we eventually did kiss, I think maybe 3 months into our relationship. I guess before then we were just friends holding hands every so often.
Was it magic, Emma?
It was gross. Yeah.
But the alternative for your first kiss would have been with a gay man on
with
stage.
apple lip gloss. Yeah.
As your very first kiss.
Yeah,
So you needed to...
I really needed
You
something
got to do
before
that. You got to do something before
Yeah.
you stage get. No.
Yeah. So anyway, yeah, we did kiss, and that was pretty much all we did for a year and a half, even though like sometimes things would get a bit hot and heavy, and then it would stop, and I'd be like, why? And he'd be like, Jesus. And I'm like, Jesus again.
Jesus.
Jesus. Why is it you, me, and Jesus in this 3-way relationship?
Joshua. Damn it.
And yeah, there were just like a lot of things that should have been major red flags. Like like he would be happy touching me, but I couldn't touch him. Like
Wasn't there a story that you told me one time about him freaking out about your boobs?
Oh my God. Oh my God.
Good
Yes.
freak out or bad? Holy, these are great.
So we'd been obviously like in our relationship, all we had done was kiss. Nothing else had happened. He would put his hands on my waist when we were kissing, or put his hands on my face, but like never group me. And I'm like, I'm a teenager. Please group me. Like
Yeah,
like
that's,
we've been
I'm a
together for a
teenager.
while.
Please make me
We've
feel
known
like
each
my
other since we were
body
kids.
is good.
Please make me feel like I'm attractive. And I remember one of my friends who was also who was in that group of friends, the couple friends, had a word with him. Like literally had, because I had told one of my girlfriends, and she'd said it to her boyfriend who was friends with him, whatever.
Yeah.
And he literally was like, mate, you just got to grab her tit.
All right, champ. Bases are loaded.
He's like, I want to show you how to do it. You put your hand up and you push it forward. Like, that's it. He's like, and it was just, I remember the first time it happened, it was after he'd had this conversation with him. It was in a car park. Like, we'd literally, like,
I gotta...
it was at the end of a night, and like we were kissing goodbye,
Goes
and
up to boob.
and it was like, it was always just like he had to get it done, and like so many things wrong.
Just get it done.
Where were the red? Like I obviously I am colorblind to red flags.
But no, see, at that formative age, like you would have thought it has something to do with you.
Yeah. So I thought you meant like at that formative age it was okay, and I was
No,
like,
no,
I was
no.
18. It wasn't okay.
I was saying
wasn't-
at that formative age when someone doesn't want to touch you,
Oh,
it's
of
your
course.
fault.
Yeah,
It's
so
not
that
their
was
weirdness.
That was the beginning of. So I on a serious note, I did develop an eating disorder, and that was a lot to do with the fact that I thought I was unattractive. I thought he didn't want to have sex with me or didn't want to touch me because there was something wrong with my body. I starved myself. I was tiny. I look back at photos then and I'm like, oh my God.
I could have snapped you in half.
I don't understand.
okay.
Yeah, I was very, very skinny, and had severe issues. Like I starved myself because I thought there was something wrong with me. Anyway, so we ended up doing a show together, and in that show, So we'd been dating for over a year at this stage when we did this show together. And we rehearsed for this show for a few months. And during the show, we met some friends, new friends. And one of those friends was this other guy. I'm going to try to avoid giving him a name at all. So he was a legend. I actually really love this guy, and I'm still really good friends with him to this day, which is why I don't want to name him. But Josh was hanging out with him a lot. And like initially I was invited, and then I wasn't invited anymore. And I brought it up one day at rehearsal. I was like, and I brought it up with this other guy. I was like, like, is there an issue? Like, I haven't been invited to stuff anymore. And he was like, Josh keeps telling us that you're not free, that you don't want to come, that you're not available. And I was like, oof, alarm bells. Anyway, we had this big chat one night, me and Josh, and decided to go on a break. Now,
take a break.
All right, kids, not a good idea.
Everyone playing at home.
A break is not real, okay?
They were on a break.
Breaks aren't real.
No, you're broken up. You can't take an intermission.
Yeah.
You can't take an intermission.
Yep.
And the argument of we want a break is fair because a break is considered a breakup in my head.
Yes, correct.
Yes.
And I will never go on anything remotely associated with a break ever again.
It's like we're breaking up and we'll see what happens, or nothing.
We broke up, but essentially,
I think it's a youthful solution to a problem. I think
you can't take a time out and then expect to be absolved from everything you do in a time out.
My guess would be
selfish.
My guess would be aged 30 and under. There's a huge percentage of people that have tried a break, and then the older you get, no one's going.
It's bullshit. Yeah, I think like in this circumstance, and it like as we go on through this story, like it's pretty indicative of how the whole thing played out. He just didn't really want to let go of me. He kind of wanted to have his cake and eat it too. I think, we'd been friends for so long that he didn't want me not in his life anymore, but also didn't know how to end it with me and also keep me around. So he just kind of strung me along for a bit. So we were on a break for 4 weeks, and I was reaching the end of my tether, and I was like, more and more as I went along, realized this was not a break. We were essentially broken up, and I was just hanging on. And anyway, so he came over to my house because I was just like, we've got to talk because I can't with this anymore, with this break. Like, it's a yes or a no. What is it? He came over, and I just outright asked him about the other guy, like we were friends with from rehearsals. I was like, do you have feelings for this guy? And he was like, I don't know. And I'm like, cool. I think that's all I need to know.
Yeah.
I was like, obviously devastated, and very similar to Josh 2.0, was really close to his family too, still really close to one of his siblings especially. And yeah, so that was really hard too because I felt like I was losing them as well, which was really upsetting. Anyway, so that ended. But the thing is that it didn't end because for 18 months after that, he kind of strung me along and would like did a bit of that breadcrumbing thing where it was kind of like he would like kind of flirt with me or hint that he was into me still and then wouldn't, and then
he wanted a soft place to land in case the gay didn't work out.
Absolutely. So like maybe
in this 18 months, and you don't have to tell, did you hook up or
no?
So there's no there was no
nothing physical,
just breadcrumbs of
breadcrumbs.
of mayhaps. Okay.
And I think in that 18-month period of time, he went over to study overseas for a few months. And just before he left, he told me he loved me again the night before he left. And also said he wanted to try and patch things up with my family, especially my mum. Because like when we'd split up the first time, my mum was like, because my mum had known him since he was a kid too, and like he'd been close to my family, there was just like a lot of bad blood there, and my family was really upset at him and whatever. So he was just trying to patch things up. Because he was like, when I get back, like, we'll talk about this again. And I was like, oh, okay, we're getting back together when you get home. Okay. So then I was essentially in this long distance relationship with this person, but also we weren't together yet.
It was a nothing limbo.
He was just, he was just holding on to me. And then he got home. And now this was after months of me seeing photos of him with other people, like, while he was studying abroad and stuff like that. So that was kind of upsetting too. Like, you tell someone you love them, then you piss off overseas, then you talk to them and maintain some sort of long distance relationship, then you post pictures of yourself with other people, then 2 weeks before you get home, you ghost them, like me. I was ghosted for 2 weeks before he got home. He
I'm
finally
shaking my head.
Yeah.
I keep forgetting that you guys can't see what I'm doing here, and I'm just sitting here and being stern and shaking my head.
We do need a webcam.
Yeah,
Yes.
he got home, and when he got home, maybe a week after he got back, he's like, I want to see you, like, we need to talk. And I was like, yeah, we need to talk. Like, the fuck is going on? He ghosted me for 2 weeks. So we met up. I'm going to give you, like, an image here, if you know Brisbane. So the Starbucks in Queen Street Mall, like, on that corner, like, across from where Borders used to be. What's there now?
The Macca's. Is the Macca's Starbucks?
Yes, right near the Macca's. Yeah.
So the Maya Centre...
Near the escalator. Up into the, into the Maya Centre.
Yep.
That Starbucks. We met there. And I was kind of like, I'd psyched myself up for this because by this stage, and I think it helped that he'd been away for a while, I had gotten angry. So I was like, I am fucking ready for this.
Emma angry is like a fucking pressure cooker ready to 100%. Explode.
So I just finally developed some self-respect in the time he'd been away. Like a lot of good things had happened for me while he'd been gone, which said enough. So anyway, of course, he gets back. And after leading me to believe that he'd wanted to get back together when he got home, he essentially like talked to me about his trip for a while, didn't ask me how I was going really, and then said, I just want to be friends. And gave me a gift he'd got me on his trip, which was just like a Christmas bauble with the Union Jack on it. I've still got it out of like, this is so funny. I'll never forget this. It's like a souvenir of that night because it is a special night for me. And that is because he was like, I just want to be friends. Like, I don't think we should get back together. And I was like, no. And he was like, what do you mean? We've been friends since we were like 11. And I was like, well, I have a lot of good friends. I don't need a shit one. And the issue, I said that.
That's
and
a
it
good
was
line.
like, yes,
it's a good line.
It is a good line. And he literally was like taken aback. He's like, oh, wow. And I was like, please give me any reason to believe you have treated me with respect or like a friend in the past few years. And he's like, oh. And I was like, yeah, exactly. I was like, I can't waste my time on you anymore. I was like, I've wasted so many years of my life trying to be friends with you and you have absolutely no respect for me whatsoever. I was like, you can literally fuck off. I got up. He was like, oh, I don't want to leave it like that. He went to hug me. I literally pushed him away in the middle of the Starbucks and I was like, have a great life. And I said that and I walked off. And as I walked off, so I was living in Springwood at the time, and the 555 bus turned up just as I walked out of the cafe. I walked onto the bus and the bus left and it was the best moment of my life. And that's why I kept the Union Jack bauble.
Because you were like, power. Yeah. Best exit of your life. You'll never have another exit that good.
It was, you know what? It was like the first important moment of self-respect in my like, young womanhood. So it was like huge. But also like, it was unfortunate. The lesson that I learned from that, you know, he maintained like, and he is openly gay now. But at the time,
her first kiss was with a gay man.
So my first kiss did end up being with a gay man. Correct.
Go.
But he had essentially used me as a beard for a year and a half. He didn't want to come out to his family and friends.
Yes.
A lot of that had to do with Jesus, and because a lot of them and his family and friends were quite religious.
Can I just say, because I don't think we can get a whole episode out of the other one. You gay men put religion in front of you a few times.
Oh my God, no, we cannot get another episode. And that one is too public to talk about. But yes, there has been another guy. There has been another guy, actually directly after this one. So it went, after Josh 1.0, it went, there was another guy. I don't want to name him. Mitchell.
Are you just a safe woman for gay men just to parade about? Just hey, look, I'm a woman.
Am I allowed
tell
to
the story? You love this story.
I love this story so much. I just need to tell it. This is my favorite story. I'm gonna not. It's just Mitchell. Yeah. So it's just this. She developed a crush on this guy called Mitchell, and they'd been talking and kind of. You know, one night after a rehearsal, I think, after a rehearsal or a show.
Closing night of a show. Classic me.
They were in the car park and they made out.
Yeah.
And then...
For a while.
Yeah, like a full-on sesh, right?
Yes.
And then at one point, was it during that night or was it after?
No, it was like 2 days afterwards.
Yeah, so she's like, so what is this? Are we...
Because we'd been kind of hanging out a lot before that too. There was a lot of lead up to that. So
Sure.
I was like, we've been spending a lot of time together.
Yeah.
So I was like, are we dating now?
And he goes...
We kind of had been and we'd been friends for a while too. Yeah.
And he said, oh, you're just not Baptist enough for me.
Code name.
And I'm so over Jesus.
And so now,
Like,
now
Yes.
we have this because every single person she told that did this face, and I don't. It's just like a
Yeah.
what?
I wish you could see the face.
And so that's Baptist face now. Like there's a whole every time any of us are just like, all right, guys, Baptist face.
Yeah, I know. I was like, what? Trying to because so many people had been like, oh, I noticed you and Mitchell hanging out a lot. Like, is anything there? And I was like, no, I'm not Baptist.
Mitchell is now fully dating a dude.
Yeah, and
Like,
has been in a very long relationship.
long
yeah.
term.
Same with Josh 1.0.
Yep.
Like long-term relationship with a gay man.
And
now.
your sister's also been trapped in that
Oh my
dating a
God,
gay man
it's
too.
just
It's the
struggle is
Taviani
real.
curse.
It really is.
Wow.
But
wow.
yeah, it's just like, I hate.
And you've never seen Joshua 1.0 since since you bust out of that
Since that
situation,
bus?
No, he turned up. Did he come to
or
a
any meaningful interaction? I
show?
suppose.
He came, no meaningful interaction really.
Okay.
I think we messaged each other after a mutual friend passed away.
Right.
But that was
My
about
condolences.
it. Yeah.
But the best thing you got out of that was the friendship with his sibling.
yes. Yeah.
Yeah.
Still
There you
friends
go.
with his brother. Love him dearly, and we still talk fairly regularly and see each
Wow,
other
well-
when we can, which is really nice.
That's sweet.
But that was that friendship kind of developed separately to my relationship with Josh 1.0. So I wish
So-
him well, but
So
yeah.
Em, what have you learnt?
What have I learnt? Oh God.
Your gaydar got a bit better, did it?
Yeah, kind of. If someone really has to like talk themselves into groping you, they're probably not that straight. So yeah,
Do you date religious men anymore?
No.
Do you
no.
do you date gay men anymore?
No, I'd like to say no, but there was another one. I have dated 3.5 gay
Well, yeah,
men.
because the other guy, I think
3.5.
Yeah,
It's really important to
Yeah.
use that.
the
figure.
half. I'm pretty sure. I think he prefers.
He was bi. but
Yeah,
nothing wrong with that, but after you've dated a few gay men, it's kind of like I can't compete with men and women. I can't
Yeah,
do
that's
that. Yeah. Oh my God.
So yeah, I guess the first thing that I learned is to always ask Emma's boyfriends enough questions to just double check she's not dating another closet case.
Yeah, it's a good
Look,
one.
In all seriousness, I think the lesson I learned from that was that if someone doesn't respect you enough, treat you as well as they would treat your friends, then they don't deserve you in
Yeah.
a relationship capacity.
And if you're going to, if you want to date someone, if you're going to date someone, you have to be friends first. You have to be a good friend to that person first.
to be friends after you
Yeah.
finish dating.
Yeah.
Yes, I think.
But even without that, like in a relationship, you should be as friendly, if not more friendly, with
Yeah.
that person than your actual friends.
Yes.
Like they're meant to be above the other people, so you can't
Absolutely.
somehow treat them worse.
less. Yep.
Yes.
And I had this conversation with a friend recently because he's trying to be friends with one of his exes.
Don't do it. Only psychopaths do that.
Yeah, well, I have, but only years after we split.
Yeah.
But that was only because that relationship ended with respect.
Yeah.
You know, if there was no respect in the ending of that relationship, and there wasn't with Josh, then there's no grounding for you to be friends again. Like, what are you building on there?
Yeah.
So, like, you wouldn't be friends with some random person you met on the street who punched you in the fucking face. So
No.
why would you be friends with someone who
Yes.
treated you like shit for 2 years?
I
That's
think
true.
my biggest lesson is always have a good exit line and
Oh
don't
my
look back.
God.
Oh yeah.
Always check the 555 bus time table before you meet up with someone.
Just it's the act of saying the line and not turning around, just going.
It's burned into my brain. That whole exit
I'm
is in slow
feeling
motion in my
like-
brain for the rest of my life.
I'm like osmoting the power that you
Oh
got
my
from back
God,
then
it's the
right
best.
here on the table
Very
right
good
now.
moment.
Yes,
Very
it
good
really
moment.
is, yeah.
I suppose my bit of advice would be to any teenage boys that listens to this show. This goes out to you. If you find in your life that another human being needs to set you down for a pep talk about grabbing that boob, you've left it too late,
Yeah.
and you need to. I don't know. Don't be shy. Don't be afraid.
Don't just go for the boob grab.
Do you
Just-
prefer one at a time, one boob at a
I
time,
think
or is it
that
a?
night it was the one.
Just
It
one?
wasn't
Just
that
the one.
Aruga.
There wasn't a twin attack.
No.
Did he
it wasn't the
literally just
headlights.
put his hand out in
Just-
palm and then
It
just
was like a claw. A retracting claw.
It's like he got
I
the prize
remember it.
and then he
And then-
limply pulled it.
I remember it
Claw
so
machine.
clearly. God, it's horrible.
I can't believe you're going to forget that part. That's my favorite
Oh
story.
my God. I think trauma blocks a lot of things out.
Oh God! Thank
Yeah.
you so much, Emma.
Yes,
Your messy dating history is almost equal to mine, and it brings me such joy.
Can't wait to come back and tell you about the other
Oh, God.
2.5 gay ex-boyfriends.
There's more. But wait, there's more, ladies and gentlemen.
Oh God! You've dated like an entire Queer Eye team, basically.
Honestly, yeah. I'm just fostering them. Till
Yeah,
they find their
to
forever homes.
Fantastic. Oh, Emma, thank you so much for coming on our little show again
Thanks for having me.
and bearing your soul and your quite funny wounds. So in this instance, Liz, how are you feeling after?
Yeah, good. Look, I fucking love Emma's stories. So
Yeah.
if you guys would like to have your story heard on our podcast, you can either apply to be a guest on our podcast
Yes.
at that'snotcanon.com/ghosts of boyfriends past. Even if you're not in Brisbane, we can phone you in, we can make it happen, we can Skype you in, whatever.
Or
in
if-
times of COVID, everyone knows how to do that shit now.
Or email us your story at ghostsofboyfriendspast@gmail.com and we'll read it out. We can do that.
and we can make it anonymous if you've got a story that you don't want to put your voice to.
Yeah.
We can just read that shit out and put it out to the universe. If you've got any questions that you want to ask us, we also have our Ask Liz and Tom episodes where we can give you our completely unprofessional don't sue us advice.
That's right.
On all of the things that you need to know. Look, I feel like we've got a bit of experience now. Like
Yes.
we're
Undoubtedly so.
professionals, pretty much. You can find us on all the socials or join our Ghost of Boyfriends Past group therapy group if you just want to put your problems out to the masses, and a bunch of strangers can help you navigate your way through the murky waters that is love. But Emma, thank you.
Oh,
Yes, thank you, Emma.
Please stop dating gays.
Look, I'm gonna stay single for a while. It's safer that way.
I believe in love. Do you believe in love, Amy?
I do, Gina. I also really believe in helicopter dates, bottomless champagne, sparkly cocktail dresses, and big-ass red roses.
Well, you'll be surprised to hear that we're obsessed with The Bachelor. We will be sharing that obsession with you and discussing all things Bachelor and Bachelorette.
We'll be talking about memorable moments, who we think Batchy will choose, and the lessons we learn along the way.
So, prepare your cheese board
Grab the wine.
and get overly emotionally attached with us, your hosts,
Amy Duro.
and Gina Schwartz.
Love Batchley.
Two gals, here for the right reasons.
A That's Not Canon Productions podcast.